We're back.
Yes, and we're here to play a game called 5-Letter Word. You may be familiar with a common improv game called A to Z. This is a variation on that, which I actually prefer. So we're going to give you this version here. In 5-letter word, what happens is we're going to get a 5-letter word. So for example, if our word was horse, the first word that the first person says has to start with the letter H, because that's what starts with horse.
So the first sentence starts with the letter H, the first word of the first sentence.
Yes. The next sentence, which would be the other person, has to start with an O, because that's the next letter. The next person, when they speak their first word, has to start with R, S, and then E, and then we go back to H. So we keep cycling through the 5-letter word. So let's use a different word other than horse that has 5 letters. So how about float?
Float.
F-L-O-A-T.
F-L-O-A-T.
And let's have a location for this.
It will be at the grocery store.
We are at a grocery store in F-L-O-A-T.
F-L-O-A-T. F-L-O-A-T.
Fred, I was thinking about cooking yams for dinner tonight, and they have a good sale on them right now.
Let us continue to think of other options.
Other options? Are you saying you don't like yams?
A yam would be fine, but not my preference.
There is a real problem here when I'm doing all the cooking, and yet you are dictating all these little things about what we should eat.
First off, let me explain to you, I'm still in charge here.
Listen, buddy, you keep that attitude, and you're not going to be in charge for much longer, and I'm going to go take my cooking elsewhere.
On top of you, brother.
All right, I see how this is going. You know what? I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but when we get home, I'm going to write my letter of resignation, and I'm going to quit being your personal everything.
Tiresome. I've heard this repeatedly.
For shame on you, trying to make me feel bad when you're the one who's the villain in this situation. Have you no shame?
Louse-like animal, you.
Okay, I'd better leave now before I do something violent.
A good idea. Thanks.
All right, that basic mechanic, we just keep circling through flow. This game can go on as long or as short as is appropriate, but what you learn...
And if you actually had, if you were performing this on stage and you had a lot of money, what you would do is you'd have the letter flashing on top as they were doing it, which would be cool.
Yes, and if you're doing this on stage and you don't have a lot of money, but
somebody's
you have
holding up a sign.
Yes, but you have a whiteboard or a piece of paper. We've done that just so the audience can follow along.
Right.
You know.
So you assign everybody a letter.
Yes, never assume your audience can spell.
And the point for this exercise is?
The point for this is to get you out of your head and to get out of that rigid thinking, because with such a limited number of letters and having to start it, you can't always get out the concept you have. So rather than trying to figure out how can I say what I wanted to say with this letter,
organically it flows.
Yeah, just let whatever comes out come out with that letter and then go. The people who get hung up freeze because they try to think of how can I say what I want to say and have it start with an O or an A. The people who do it best just say a word. Like we did.